Well, good morning. I don't think you can see much, but we're just prepping for takeoff here at Bankstown. I'm in X-Ray 42, Victor Hotel X-Ray 42. This is a Diamond DA40NG. This is my aircraft that has recently been sold. The new owner lives in Perth. I'm in Sydney, so I'm flying this aircraft from Sydney to Perth, and I thought it might be interesting to bring people along. It's 5:40 in the morning. It's just the crack of first light here, so I'm looking to take off at first light. We're just going to contact Sydney Centre and get our clearance. But Sydney Centre, good morning. X-Ray 42, Diamond DA40 is IFR, Bankstown to Mildura, 1 POB, taxis Bankstown for runway 29 Centre.
X-Ray 42, Sonogre, squawk 3747, you're cleared to Mildura via Cadam, flight planned route, Bankstown 9 departure, climb by SIDSA 3000, Sydney QNH 1017.
Squawk 3747, cleared to Mildura via Cadam, planned route, Bankstown 9 departure, climb by SID 3000 and QNH 1017, X-Ray 42. Bankstown traffic, X-Ray 42, it's Diamond DA40, is taxiing via Alpha to holding point Alpha 8 for runway 29 Centre. Bankstown. Bankstown traffic, X-Ray 42 is crossing runway right and lining up on runway Centre. Bankstown. I haven't flown this aircraft for quite a long time. It hasn't flown since December, and it's now April. And that was the start of December. So what's that, 4 or 5 months it hasn't flown. I have been doing engine runs on it every 3 or 4 weeks. But it's been a while. Bankstown traffic, X-Ray 42 is rolling runway Centre for a departure to the west, Bankstown. Okay, we're set to go. Let's see how we go here with power. Okay, there's 98. There's P's all in the green. Panel's clean. And we're airspeed's alive. Rotating at 67. There's 67 now. Oh, it wants to fly. Feels a lot lighter than the brakes gear up. X-Ray 42 departed Bankstown, time 4:06, passing 1,800 for 3,000 and tracking 290.
X-Ray 42, X-Ray identified, climb by the SID to 10,000, leaving 3,000, clear direct to Cadam.
Climb by SID 10,000, passing 3,000, clear direct Cadam, X-Ray 42. I keep saying 62, almost saying 62. It doesn't climb like the 62. We are getting 650 feet a minute. Wow, it felt really light at takeoff though, just woof, up into the air. A lot more visibility, no big pillars here. It's an amazing view out of this thing, just amazing. 290, passing 3,000, direct Cadam. And we're cleared up to 10,000. We're climbing at 88 knots. I'll turn the cameras off now and we might come back in the cruise once it's a little bit lighter. See you then. Okay, well, I've had a bit of breakfast. I've been flying for over an hour now. Have a look. An hour and 12 minutes. I've just passed over Cowra a little while back. I'm en route to Griffith. I thought it might be good to just turn the map on here and I'll show you what we're doing today.
X-Ray 42, area QNH now 1021.
1021, X-Ray 42. Okay, so that's recording. So that's Australia. I put it on the VFR map just so you can get a bit more of an idea of where towns and things are. But basically, we departed Sydney this morning an hour and 12 ago. We're getting a pretty good TAS, 148 knots, cruising at 10,000. The reason I'm going for 10,000 is that, well, it's high enough to be out of generally any kind of bumps. I do have a headwind, and the headwind gets stronger as I go higher, so I got a 5 knot headwind, which is quite nice. I've got a ground speed of 143 knots. So this is kind of the optimum. I don't need oxygen. If I take oxygen, I've got to take oxygen bottle and I've got to bring that back, which then becomes potentially dangerous goods, or at least restricted in terms of my ability to bring that back on commercial airline.
28402 Delta, identify.
So I've got, if I go to my flights page, I've got
28402 Delta.
the flight I'm currently on is this one, Bankstown to Mildura. The second flight will be Mildura to Ceduna. And the third flight will be Ceduna to Esperance. That's the one I'm most concerned about. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Bankstown to Mildura is fairly straightforward. 450 nautical miles. 3 hours 15. And on my map, you can see that's the one we're doing at the moment. We're landing at Mildura. I just texted the fuel truck at Mildura just to let him know my landing time. I really want an efficient turnaround, just get the fuel and get out of there. I'll basically get fuel, check oil, have a quick walk around, and then we'll start up and go. I'm not gonna hang around long at all. We are about 15 minutes behind our plan. I just wanted to wait till the sun was up before taking off. This plane, like I said, is I've not flown it for 4 months plus. It's not been flown at all since December last year, other than some engine runs on the ground. So I really wanted to just have some daylight, just in case I needed to do any kind of forced landings or anything, just for safety. I thought it's probably just sensible. Okay, so that's the first leg. Let's have a look at the next leg. So Mildura to Ceduna, 440 nautical miles and 3 hours and 4 minutes. I've selected a cruise altitude also of 10,000 feet for that. And you can see why. I got calm winds, and I burned basically minimum fuel, 98 litres for that leg. Anything other than that, I'm burning more fuel. And that takes us basically north of Adelaide, straight across from Mildura, which is actually Victoria, to Ceduna, which is in South Australia on the coast. And then the third leg is Ceduna to Esperance. So you can see here that with this one, it's a very long way. It's 607 nautical miles, 4 hours and 22 minutes. I am hoping that I'll get an average of a 6 knot tailwind for that. I'm sort of relying on a tailwind. I'll just refresh that. It's still a 6 knot tailwind. And I've actually backed the cruise off to 75% power. I could back it off even to 60%. It's going to take a long time, but I could back it off even further if I need to conserve fuel. What I've done there is I've taken a direct leg, so it's just a direct route from Ceduna to Esperance. There's a couple of things which we'll talk about later, but essentially the PCA shows me that I'm going to be out of VHF range during that, so I'm going to have to drop down to VFR. I'm also going to have to, which provides me less protection in terms of traffic and things like that, and just having someone constantly talking to me and watching what I'm doing. I'm also flying over the ocean the entire way, so I brought a life raft, a life jacket. I've got emergency supplies for the whole trip. So it's basically 600 plus nautical miles directly over the ocean with not many options other than landing at Esperance. There is an airport. If I just fire this over to the map for a minute. So there it is. I'll just turn this, I think it's, turn that off for a minute. Yeah, so you can see I fly from Ceduna straight over the ocean to Esperance. I'm about, I think, 60 miles or so offshore, which is what's that, about 25 minutes of flying. So it's outside of gliding range, clearly. The closest other airport I could really land at is a place called Forest. And Forest is basically an hour, which is 130 nautical miles to the right of my route. So my plan is that if I take off from Ceduna and I find that I'm getting some really unexpected headwinds, particularly if they're stronger than a few knots, and my margins, if I'm not comfortable with my margin for fuel into Esperance, my plan will be to make a right turn and go to Forest, which I've got plenty of fuel for. I can get fuel at Forest, but I need to give prior notice, which I haven't done. So it could mean a delay. So I really don't want to have to do that, and it's out of the way. So it's going to add to the trip. So anyway, we'll see how we go later. I'll check in later and have a look at the fuel situation, and we'll have a chat about all that. Generally, weather's good. So the whole trip today, the weather should be pretty good. It's blue skies, beautiful day, absolutely beautiful day. Calm winds. Couldn't have really picked a better day to do this. So anyway, we'll check in later, and probably as we approach Mildura, I'll turn the cameras on, and we'll talk then. See ya. Inbound Mildura now. Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40, currently 25 miles to the east. We're just on descent through 4,700, inbound for a direct straight-in approach runway 27, and estimating the field time 01, Mildura. Well, it's been a pretty relaxing flight. We've actually got clear conditions everywhere, but Mildura actually has a specie issued. I think it's a specie. Let me check. Oh no, just a marginal VFR due to low cloud, broken 1,900. An ambulance is doing a VOR approach. I'm not exactly sure what their touchdown time is, but it sounds like they're coming in the opposite direction runway.
QJ 1541.
That could be a...
Mildura traffic, Bonanza Charlie Hotel Bravo, 3 mile final runway 27. Mildura. Mildura traffic, ambulance 396 is overhead field 4,200 on descent, tracking out to the west initially for a final runway 09, traffic Mildura.
And ambulance 396 is X-ray 42. Do you have an approximate time for 09?
AFM, we're estimating wheels down on the hour, ambulance 396.
Okay, we're pretty much on the hour as well, so we might just slow things down a bit, let you go first.
That's much appreciated, ambulance 396.
I'm going to slow things right down because they're going to be coming in opposite way at the same time. That's right.
Mildura traffic, ambulance 396 is turning onto a 7 mile final straight in 09, traffic Mildura.
And Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is on a 15 mile final runway 27, and now estimating the field time 03, Mildura. Alright, 2000, so we're Echo Bravo to Echo India.
And Zulu Mike back to X-ray 42, copy you guys for runway 27. We'll extend downwind or upwind to working with you guys.
Thanks for that, X-ray 42. And Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is now on a 10 mile final, runway 27 at 2,000 feet. He's on a 3 mile final, we're on a 10 mile final. If he goes, he's an ambulance, he's got way more performance, he'll take off and go above me. And we've got one on 18, so all different directions are in use here. A nice river here. Is that the Murray River? Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is on a 6 mile final, runway 27, Mildura.
Mildura traffic, ambulance 396, landed clear of all runways. Traffic Mildura.
Alright, we're going down.
And X-ray 42, seconds for your help, mate.
No worries, thanks, X-ray 42. Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is now on a 3.5 mile final and visual with the aircraft in the circuit for 18 Mildura. Alright, let's get the autopilot off. AP's off.
Bravo is on the ground. Mildura, cancel silence.
Get some flap out.
Thanks, Mildura, Salwatch 10.
Get this power back now.
X-ray 42, Centre IFR traffic taxi, Mildura outbound to the west towards Renmark is Zulu Uniform Oscar, Cessna 172.
Copy traffic, I'm on a 3 mile final, X-ray 42.
Zulu Hotel Tango.
Mildura traffic, X-ray 42, short final, runway 27, Mildura. Disregard. Birds. Mildura traffic, X-ray 42 is vacated all runways. Alright, flaps identified and up. Landing lights off. Leave the taxi in position lights on. Fuel pumps can come off. And let's... Centre X-ray 42 is landed Mildura, cancel sir. X-ray 42, thanks.
X-ray Romeo, get out of
And after X-ray Romeo, request traffic, track direct, caution to Echo Bravo.
Alright, we're just waiting for arriving aircraft, Q-Link, and then we we'll depart to the west straight after that aircraft comes in. We've got our spot codes set. Alright, well T's and P's are all in the green, oil pressure's good. We're going to be looking for 27. We're climbing to 10,000. No clearance required. Last echo is at 12,500. We've got our squawk code set. Run around here. So we're on CTAF and we're on centre. 10,000. QNH is right. Pointing the runway direction, bugged runway direction. We are good to go. We're just waiting to see. There he goes. I've got him on final now. Let this aircraft. I'm just staying back in case he wants to pull off here. We've got an aircraft behind me. All right, here we go. Lights, pumps. Get ready for pitot. Flaps are set. Heats off. Parking brake is released. They're going to have to backtrack. And we've got aircraft.
X-ray 42, Q-Link 78. We'll take Delta if you want to come in on Charlie.
Copy that, thanks. Yeah, we'll line up from Charlie, thanks. X-ray 42. Pitot on. Parking brakes released. All good. Pumps. Flaps. Clear right. And they're coming off and left. Mildura traffic X-ray 42s lining up, runway 27. We'll just be taking it from this intersection and departure to the west, Mildura. And Mildura traffic X-ray 42s rolling, runway 27, departure to the west, Mildura.
Mildura Echo Charlie, clear RMP, runway 27.
Break 3656, all of us.
Okay, to the wind, 100%, T's and P's in the green.
Warnable, amended tap sheet.
40. Cross-checked. Okay, 67. Gentle rotation.
Mildura traffic, ambulance 396, entering and backtracking amended runway 27. Overhead departure for resident traffic, Mildura.
72 for the climb out. Clear of obstacles. Away. Mildura traffic X-ray 42 is now 3.5 miles to the west, passing 1,800 and climb 10,000 and tracking 276 departing the area, Mildura. And Centre X-ray 42 with departure report.
X-ray 42.
Departed Mildura time 48, passing 2,700 for 10,000, tracking 276 and MEAS 45.
X-ray 42, the area QNH 1023.
1023, X-ray 42.
Time 08.
Alright, turn the cameras off. We're out of here. Talk to you later. Okay, well, I thought I'd just turn the cameras on mid-meal. We've just crossed just crossed the South Australian border. We've got Renmark, the town of Renmark out to our left. We can't see anything. We're over a layer of cloud here. It's sort of interesting, actually, that ForeFlight hasn't picked up from the weather data. Actually, I'll just turn this on for you. So, yeah, it's not showing any cloud below us. But clearly there's cloud all around. It's very, very thin layer, but it's a layer that's beneath us, which is just stopping us seeing anything. So I thought maybe I'll just give you a quick rundown on the route for today, for this leg. So this is the leg from Mildura to Ceduna in South Australia. So let me get rid of that. So you can see we fly straight across here. We actually go through some restricted airspace here, which if I have a look at that, from 9,500 and above, and we're cruising at 10,000, so we're in the airspace. I click on the details, you can see that I think it's RA1, where pilots can plan through or expect to get clearance through these areas when active. It's the Edinburgh military flying area, so that looks like it'll be fine. So we head through that area. We head over the top of Port Perry, the town. Then we go over the water. And
Bravo, contact me once you fly this line.
And then you can see, maybe I'll spin it around, it might be easier. Port Perry, Whyalla. I've tuned the NDB into Whyalla so that I've got an extra navigation aid in addition to the GPS, just to give me confidence we're not heading in the wrong direction. We've got some more restricted area over here, which we just on the edge of, and this area is different actually. It's middleback military flying, and this actually says you must not flight plan through this restricted area, which we haven't. We're right on the edge of it, and in fact this was a ForeFlight recommended route, so presumably it's okay to plan this route. I'm sure ATC will tell us if we need to deviate. We then head across here, and you can see we start to get into a more remote area. And we've got all these squiggly lines here. This is actually a desert. And you can see this is the Great Victoria Desert. So we're sort of on the bottom edge of the desert there, the Great Victoria Desert. And then we come into Ceduna. And Ceduna is basically on the coast, on the southern coast of South Australia. And we're 2.5 hours to go. We're getting a good cruise here. We've got 145 TAS at 88% load and 149 or 150 ground speed. So pretty happy with everything. I'm going to go back and continue my lunch, early lunch, brunch I suppose, and we'll have a chat later on. See ya.
Contact centre on 123.9er. G'day.
Centre on 123.9er, X-ray 42.
Scooter 18, contact centre 127.4, expect start clearance. G'day.
Centre, g'day, X-ray 42 is maintaining 10,000.
X-ray 42, Melbourne Centre.
Alright, we have a problem. We have a problem. You know, you should always read the NOTAMs. Let me show you this. So my current track is from Mildura to Ceduna. I've got 2 hours 15 minutes to go, and what I usually do is just text the fuel truck. I texted him a few days ago. It was all good. Texted him just now while I'm still in radio coverage because I go across a fairly big desert area, and he's just written back to me saying no Jet A1 as per the NOTAM. And I checked the NOTAMs, I think I checked it last night. But Jet A1 not available. So, expires 5 p.m. on the 11th today. So what does that mean? Worst case is I would still land there, and I would have to wait until 5 p.m. to get the fuel. He is texting me and responding, and he's trying to work out if they've got enough, because it only needs a little bit of fuel. He's trying to work out if they've got enough in the truck just to refuel me. So he's asked me how much I need. I told him probably about 120 litres. Ah, man. So I think I'm not going to deviate. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to work out what other plans I could take. One is I could land at Whyalla. Okay. So the fuel, the refueler has just messaged me back. Checked with the boss. Should be okay for 150 litres. But we're also doing bitumen near the Bowser, so we might have to wait half an hour. So I'm expecting to be delayed at Ceduna. But look, if he's got 150 litres, I'll take it. I'll take it. And if we start filling and we run out at 100 litres and we can't fill the tanks, then I can't depart. I need absolute chock-a-block full tanks for this next leg across the ocean. So I'm going to, so either I'm going to get there and I'm going to be able to get, fuel and get on my way, and I might have a half an hour delay or so due to this bitumen work, or I'm going to have to wait until, as per the NOTAM, expires 11th of April, which is today, at 5 p.m. local time. Now I'm arriving there at 12:30 local time. So that would be a bit of a disaster. I'd be stuck in Ceduna. I'd have to then make a decision about whether I'm prepared to continue on and fly in the dark across the ocean, 620 nautical miles, with tight fuel situation, or whether I would abandon that and stay in Ceduna for the night and fly the next leg in the morning. If I did that, what I don't know is what's the weather like on Friday across that stretch. So I'll just text him back. Fantastic. Whew, that's a bit of a relief, isn't it? Wow. 150 litres is all they've got. I better just double check how much fuel was I expecting to have. Yeah, it looks like 54 litres remaining, so 147 in tanks. So I need at least 100 litres. And that'll give me, if I can get 100 litres, I'm good. He thinks they've got 150. What do you reckon? I reckon that's 50 litre. That's a 50 litre margin. Hopefully I'm not getting all the dregs in the bottom of the fuel truck. Hopefully not. I'll definitely want to do a fuel drain. All right, anyway, that's a little bit of a emerging issue. And a reminder to always check the NOTAMs, even if you think you've checked them and you've texted the fuel truck guy. Things change rapidly. So that's my mistake. I should have checked it. I should have checked it at Mildura before I departed. Anyway, good lesson. See ya. All right. Well, we're in the in this restricted area at the moment, but we're still being controlled by centre. I almost had another panic attack for a moment where I just checked the NOTAM for Esperance, which is where I'm staying tonight, and the first thing that comes up on here is that runway 1129 closed, and then but I realised it's not effective until it's a future NOTAM on the 13th. Pretty close, only a couple of days, but it's closed in a couple of days. That's the runway I need, otherwise it's a dirt strip. Okay, so this is the overhead the town of Port Pirie. Quite nice views here. Camera on for you.
No additional traffic, QNH 1.25.
Go. You see the town down there.
631 cross climate on 37 at published flag.
And see some performance data here. So I'm transferring a bit of fuel, balance up the tanks. I've got 145 TAS with 144 ground speed. Whyalla is my next waypoint across the other side of the water. See down there. And if I fence a goal, that's what we're about to fly across. There you go. Okay, well we're just coming up to, I think it's pronounced Gillies, Lake Gillies. It's a salt lake, and I thought it might be worth capturing. The other camera on as well. You can see it's all salt. Be interesting. So we are just sort of en route on the way to Ceduna, coming up to the start of the sort of desert area I mentioned before. Really in the middle of nowhere, nothing around. Yeah, so here's where we are on the map. I'll just zoom it out. There's Ceduna. You can see basically this is where the desert sort of starts. All of that area is just desert. Anyway, there you go. All right, we're approaching top of descent, 13 minutes out from top of descent for Ceduna. Been a pretty relaxing flight. One thing I've been wondering about is with all these salt lakes around, probably should have done a bit more homework, but if you were to have an engine failure, would you choose a salt lake to land on? And luckily, it's amazing, but I do get some mobile phone coverage up here. I've been able to Google on the internet. You get mixed responses on that. In some places it sounds like it can be soft underneath, but still I imagine it to be flatter than most things, and probably, you know, the aircraft might tip, but it's still probably better than hitting a tree. So I think I'd choose that if I had to come do a forced landing around here. So anyway, we're 12 minutes out from top of descent. I'll start prepping, run through the checks, and get ready for descent. We're going to do a landing on. We're just going to do a visual approach. Join left downwind for runway 11. We'll might turn the cameras on a little bit later. We'll see how we go. All right. And Ceduna traffic, X-ray 42 is the Diamond DA40. We're currently 11 miles to the east on descent through 3,300, and we're going to be joining a left downwind for runway 11, estimating the circuit time 5-1 Ceduna.
Lima Charlie Golf, estimating Ceduna 5-5 for slow, please.
Copy, thanks, X-ray 42. Few bumps on the descent. We've got another seaplane coming in for Ceduna. So we'll just want to keep the speed up a little bit because he was 5-5. Surprisingly bumpy down here considering how smooth the whole trip's been. Could be sea breezes. Ceduna traffic X-ray 42, Diamond DA40s just joining a left downwind for runway 11, full stop, Ceduna. Alright, so what we'll do, let's get the OBS on, let's get this on the runway heading, 11. Pitching for 90 here. Looking for 45, clear right, clear centre, clear left. We're looking for seaplanes in the area. Ceduna traffic X-ray 42s on a left base, runway 11, Ceduna. Oh, looks nice here. I've come to Ceduna once as a child. It's the furthest west I've ever been. Looks awesome. What a nice seaside town. Alright, 90 knots. Flight director off. Looking good. Not yet visual with the traffic. We've got wind pushing us back so we can delay the turn a little bit.
55, contact centre 118, question 123.
A little bit high, last stage of flap is 98. Ceduna traffic X-ray 42s on a short final, runway 11.
Qantas 935, contact centre 123.195.
Confirming this frequency, Qantas 935.
123.195.
23.195. Thank you, Qantas 935.
Okay, let's quickly get turned around and out of the way. Ceduna traffic X-ray 42s, backtracking, runway 11.
Traffic Ceduna, this is ground crew. I'll just open up the cones for you so you can come through.
Thanks, X-ray 42. And centre X-ray 42s landed Ceduna, cancel sir.
X-ray 42, Ceduna, sir, estimated.
X-ray 42, thanks. Oh, that was quite a strong crosswind actually, I can see it there. 15 knots or something. Alright, welcome to Ceduna. Let's quickly try and get some fuel, see how we go. We'll turn the cameras back on departure. Okay, well, we are back in the aircraft. We've just departed Ceduna. Sorry, I forgot to put the camera on a little bit earlier. It was a bit of a quick departure. Also quite a bumpy and rough departure. There's a strong sort of 15 plus knot wind, all crosswind, quite gusty coming off the sea. So we're on track for Esperance. So this is the Ceduna Esperance. There's really no room for error on this trip. So I'm really going to be checking everything quite a bit. So GPS is capturing, can't afford to be going on the wrong course for any time at all. So GPS is green, Ceduna Esperance direct, 601 nautical miles remaining. I'm climbing 10,000, I'm getting 600 feet a minute. I'm happy with that. I've got a 16 knot tailwind at 4,300, so I need to take a note of that. I want to sort of note the tailwinds as we go up, because if it's a much stronger tailwind down at 6,000 feet or something like that, I'll come down and I might need to take it. So we're at 92% in the climb, and then we need very important that we back that power off once we get in the cruise. We cannot make it at 90% power. We just won't make this distance. So fuel over destination is currently showing as minus 26 litres. That's pretty normal on takeoff. But let's see how it looks once we... what we want to get is we want to get it down to 32 litres remaining. So I might do a bit of logging now. This is going to be really important for this trip. I'll turn the cameras off for a bit. I'll turn them on again once we're in the cruise and we see what sort of performance we're getting. So I'll turn it off for a bit. Okay, well here we go. We are now at 10,000. I'm going to turn this on and show you what I've done. So, first thing I've done is I'm just letting it speed up before I back the power off. But before I do back the power off, check this out. So I've set up a bunch of minus 500 miles, 400, 300, 200, 100. It's along with my plan. But if I just show you the map, this just confirms I can't make it Esperance at this power setting. I'm not going to have reserves, legal reserves. I could make it without legal reserves, but that's not legal, so we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start backing the power off now, and we're going to bring it back to about, you can see that ring getting bigger. 75% is what I planned it on. So let's just keep it within there. My speed will come back, so that'll all start to adjust. And look at this view out the window, it's beautiful. So we're going to be going straight out over the ocean. This is our route straight ahead. We're going to get quite a long way off the coast. We may not be able to see the coast. So it's a big ocean out there. What I've got handy is I've got my my life jacket, which I'll have time to put on from 10,000 feet. I've got a life raft. I've got emergency supplies. So all of these are within reach in case I need them. It's a long way to go. It looks like we're about over 4 hours. And with really nothing in between. We'll also be going out of VHF range at some point, and so it's pretty tight. I mean, even there you can see it's only just making it really. So we'll back the power off further if we need to. We're getting a tail wind of 2 knots, and while we're getting that tailwind and not a headwind, we're all good. All right, we'll check in a bit later on. I'm going to do some logging. My first waypoint, which is Esperance minus 500 miles. Okay, well there goes the coastline. Basically the coastline heads that way and we head straight out over the ocean this way. This is the what's called the Great Australian Bight, and it heads, basically we head across the Great Australian Bight all the way to Esperance on the other side. And that's pretty much where we make land again. So a couple of things I've done, which are just, I think, good practice. One is I've tuned both my nav radios in to the VOR at Esperance, 114.2. It's not picking up, it's not going to pick that up for ages. We're still 550 miles away. 4 hours still to go. The second thing I've done, this plane has an ADF, so I've tuned, and Esperance also has an NDB, so I've tuned that in as well. That's just picking up nonsense at the moment, again, it's too far out. In terms of, so as I mentioned, we've got 4 hours to go, and my range ring for IFR reserve, my range ring for IFR reserve is 4.5 hours, so I've got about 30 minutes over and above what I need to get to Esperance. So I could even hold for an inter and still be legal. I could also back the power off a little bit, and that would increase that range ring a little bit further. So that's a bit of a countermeasure here. Is that I can, especially while I've got tailwind, I can back that power off no problem, back to say 60%, and that will expand that further. We're burning 6.5 gallons per hour. 135 true, 141 ground speed, so not bad with a 5-knot tailwind. So yeah, I thought we'd just turn the cameras on while we leave the mainland there, and wow, 4 hours to go just over ocean. Anyway, I've got my supplies, and I'll check in later on. See you then. Senegal X-ray 42s maintaining 10,000. Just checking whether you want position reports every 100 miles. Will that work?
X-ray 42 centre. If you can just set up an ops normal time check-in. So if we start with 0500, that'll work for me.
Okay, and I guess I understand we may lose VHF for a little bit of the route, and if so, we can downgrade to VFR if we need to.
X-ray 42, roger. Should hold you for approximately the next 50 minutes, and then after that, you will be out of coverage for at least an hour.
Copy that, understood. Thanks, X-ray 42. Right, an ops normal on the hour, so let's go with
Jetstar 986, contact
timer. That'll remind me to do that. And I suppose I can give him position report right away. So, yep. Yeah, the PCA shows that there are. I'll turn it on for a second.
Expect star clearance.
See what I'm talking about. All right, so if we zoom out, there we are, middle of nowhere. If I pull up the planning chart, you can see we're in coverage at the moment. I'll spin it around. As we get further along here, we do get this section here, which is about, it's going to be about an hour. So about 125 nautical miles where we will be out of coverage. We'll need to downgrade to VFR for that. And there's a suspect zone over here, which is, what's that, about only about 15 minutes before we get into Esperance, and that's as we get back to the mainland. So this is the big one, out of radio coverage. So what we can do during that time is relay our position reports via airliners. What we'll just make sure is we've got traffic turned on, and we do. Not really seeing anyone around at the moment, but we'll see, maybe there is. Go back to the IFR low map, and we've also got our traffic page. So pretty remote, and a long way over ocean. And I said before, I calculated that 300 miles from Esperance is really my decision point. Or if we, suddenly encounter fairly strong headwinds or something like that, I will make a right turn and divert to Forest, because Forest is going to be closer than Esperance at that point. It'll be 130 miles away, whereas Esperance will still be 300 miles away. So at around that 300 miles Esperance, we'll make a decision about continuing. And Forest is a place we can get fuel if we give them prior notice, so presumably there's fuel. We just might have to wait. Anyway, there you go. All right, we are 302 miles from Esperance, so I'm just going to give a position report and a next position. And I'm also going to be trying to switch radio frequencies now as well. Senegal X-ray 42, how do you read? I probably got you a 3, but it's readable. So I'm just Esperance minus 300 miles now, and position for Esperance minus 200 miles is time 5-4.
X-ray 42, copies all, thank you. That's checking out with what we have for our system estimates for you as well.
Great, thanks. What was good there was that basically I didn't have to downgrade or change to VFR. Even though the PCA had me going out of range, what actually the controller, what he said was that he was happy for me to maintain 10,000 and basically happy for me to relay my position via airliners because there were quite a few airliners around. What eventuated was that even though the PCA had me out of range at 10,000 feet, I actually did maintain coverage the whole way through that area. And I've just now switched over to the new area, which is actually probably receiving worse than the old area still. But we've been able to maintain communication the whole way through, so that's great. So we're now 300 miles from Esperance. It was 600 and something miles, so we're just beyond the halfway point. It's a long trip over the ocean, can't see much. The sun's starting to come down. I'll have the sun in my eyes for a fair bit of this next hour or two. 2 hours and 5 remaining. So if I pull up the map here, you can see that, well, you might not be able to see, but Esperance is 2 hours and 4, and I've got now the IFR reserves ring out to 2 hours 50. So I've now got, you know, at least 40 minutes, 45 minutes over and above Esperance before I get to the IFR reserves, and then I've got further than that before I actually run out of fuel. So that's good. That's what you want. This won't factor in the descent as well, so I'll save some fuel in the descent. So it's looking good. I've got an 8-knot tailwind at the moment. I've got a ground speed of 143 knots and a TAS of 135. We're maintaining 73, 74%. And we're back within radio coverage. I've even got a text message out here from the fuel truck at Esperance saying that all good, he'll be there for me. So that, I actually can't believe how good the Telstra coverage is across the Great Australian Bight. I mean, I'm miles away. I can't see land, and for I would say probably 60% of this trip, I've had 3G and a bit of 4G coverage. Only like one bar, and you know, the occasional message will get through, but quite amazing, really, to be able to still be able to communicate. Anyway, long way to go. A couple of hours still. I suppose it's not too bad considering we started at first light in Sydney. Took off at 5:45 this morning. So it's been a long day, but I actually feel good. These planes are great. I mean, put your seat back, you have your food, listen to some music. It's actually not bad. I reckon I could easily continue on to Perth tonight. I won't, because I booked a hotel in Esperance, and I wanted to see Esperance, but practically it wouldn't be a big deal to fly the extra 2.5 hours from Esperance into Perth. The other reason I wouldn't do it is because it's night time, and I prefer not to be flying a single at night, especially into an airport I'm unfamiliar with as well. I mean, I've never been to Jandakot, so I don't know where the taxiways are and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'd rather just do all that in the morning. There's no need to do it tonight, and get a good night's sleep. I probably should have also mentioned that 300 miles was our decision point for whether or not we continue to Esperance or do a hard right and head up to Forest. Forest is basically an hour that way, so basically an hour north of here. And given we've still got a 7-knot tailwind, we've still got 37 gallons over destination. Our original plan was to have 32, sorry, not gallons, I wish, 32 litres over destination. We've got 37 litres over destination. So we're ahead of our plan. The tailwinds are pretty much as forecast. We always have the option of pulling the power back further, say 60% if we need to conserve fuel further. So at this point I'm committing now to Esperance. There is no other option. We're not going to go to Forest. We're going to continue on to Esperance. It's basically another 300 miles and we're committing to that. I think it's interesting to think about what you do if you had an engine failure out here. I mean, I just think there's there's nowhere to turn, there's nowhere to go. I think all I'd do is put it in a best glide of 88 knots, and I'd probably just do that on autopilot. I'd be getting my life jacket on, be putting all the loose stuff on the floor so it doesn't kind of fly over and hit me when we ditch. I'd be getting ready. I don't have the life raft in the front because I have watched a video where someone wisely said the danger of having it in the front is if it inadvertently goes off, it'll basically just push the control stick forward and push you into a dive, and it'll be very hard to recover. So I think that's good advice, so I keep it in the back. But basically I'd be grabbing the life raft and the emergency supplies, and I'd be putting my life jacket on, and I'd just have it in autopilot. I'd continue on this track. I think the best way for me to be found is to not deviate from this track. And I would just make a report. I can give my lat and long, and I can give that all the way down. And I'd crack this door. I'd get rid of all these cameras and all this stuff, although it'd be pretty cool to have it on camera. I don't know how many ditchings have been recorded on camera, but I don't want to be the first. Anyway, I would basically crack the door and ditch at a low speed. The sea state looks pretty calm, actually. There's not a huge amount of white caps down there. It all looks pretty calm. The wind's pretty calm. It's probably a good day for ditching if you're going to ditch. And then I'd jump out. I've got like a EPIRB thing in the pocket, a personal locator beacon in the pocket. I'd set off the ELT on the aircraft prematurely. I don't need to wait for it to ditch to do that. But essentially, you just fly it all the way down and just continue this track and keep reporting position, speed, and hopefully they'd be able to find you pretty quickly, given the accuracy of the position. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't come to that, but that would be my plan. It's good to have a plan anyway. That's my plan. I think originally I would have probably been tempted to sort of start gliding towards the shore, but I think that would be a big mistake. You'd be completely off course then and they just wouldn't know where you are. So, anyway, we have a plan. Hopefully we don't need it. 276 miles to Esperance. We're under 2 hours. 1 hour 56. Fantastic. See you. Okay, well I appreciate you can't really see very much with all the cloud and the sun setting, but this is a bit of a big moment because we're about to hit land. So we've gone about 500 miles just across the water, and we're now, there you go, you can probably see that down there. I'll put the camera on. Here we go. Okay, so there's our performance. We're getting 138 TAS, 10 knot tailwind now, 148 across the ground. You can see here we're about to make land, 100 miles, 111 miles from Esperance. And look at that. There's the land and the beach. Beautiful. That looks stunning. Colour of the water. There you go. Nice setting sun to the west. And out this side I can't really see that well down there, but it looks pretty nice too. Oh, it looks a bit, not quite as nice as the other side anyway. I'll just put this on and I'll talk about the approach, because we're going to get busy soon with the approach. So here we are, we're across the land now, we're coming into Esperance. And the approach we're going to do is the Esperance DME GNSS arrival, the DGA. I've tuned in the weather, I've been listening to 121.5, the emergency frequency, while we've been out here. Just in case there's any emergency broadcast, I'll hear it. I've got the VOR picking up Esperance now on 114.2, and that's pointing to Esperance. I've also got the ADF tuned in, and we can listen to that. So we can confirm that So that's confirmed as the Morse for Esperance. The DJ approach that we're going to do, it's an all routes in to Esperance. So from any direction, you can follow this DJ. And so I've programmed that. I've already set that up. Had a lot of time to do that. So I set it up while I was bored before. I've bugged the MDA of 1250, and I'm anticipating we'll get the actual aero QNH, 2.4 Ks viz. I'm going to come in. Basically, I'm coming in from the east, and so I'm going to circle to land essentially. But I'm really just going to join it visually. I'm just going to become visual and then join the circuit for runway 11, and I'll brake right to join the left downwind for runway 11. The clouds are. If we have a look at the METAR 35 minutes ago. We've got 120, 13 knots, good viz, broken 3.5, broken 4.2, overcast 5.6. Unfortunately, it's not a particularly sunny day in Esperance. It looks pretty cloudy. So we'll break through that cloud layer at about 3,500, well above our minimums, and then we'll become visual and we'll join the circuit visually. That's the plan. Okay, well we're in the descent now into Esperance. It's been a long flight, but not too bad really. We're listening on CTAF. I've got the weather. Esperance traffic X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40. We are 25 miles to the east on descent through 8,700. We're inbound and estimating joining the circuit time 14. We're anticipating joining a left downwind for runway 11, Esperance. Now we've got a lower safe of the area we're in of 2,500. Once we're within 25 miles, which we are now, we can go down to 2,300. So I'll do that. Bit of water. It's all running. Not expecting any icing at this temperature. Although it's cooled down now in the cloud to 4 degrees. Pido's on. We can put the alternate air on if we need to as well. At least the sun's not in my eyes. Thought it would be all the way down. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40. Now 15 miles to the east on descent through 5,200 inbound and joining a left downwind for runway 11, Esperance. Estimating the circuit time 15, Esperance. Really quite thick. Thought it was going to be nice and sunny here. Got a lower safe in the next sector of 2,400, so we're safe. Got the right QNH set on both. Both are reading 4,300. Good to sanity check these things when you're in IMC like this. Can't see a thing. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42, now 10 miles to the east on descent through 3,500, joining a left downwind runway 11, estimating circuit time 15, Esperance. Okay, becoming visual. What a rubbish day. In Esperance. I pictured sunny beaches here. I don't want to spend the night in a miserable rainy weather. All right, can't see the runway yet. Oh, we're now 4 miles. Okay, that'll be the runway there. Esperance traffic X-ray 42 is now 3 miles to the east at 1,500, joining a left circuit downwind for runway 11, Esperance. Go to heading mode. And once we're within the circling area and basically the circuit, had no other communication. It's always a good sign to check 1267. It is CTAF 1267. We'll turn this way. We'll go to ABS mode and we'll tune this into the direction of the runway for situational awareness, 11. Okay, the town of Esperance is actually a fair way away. This is middle of nowhere. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42 is left base, runway 11, Esperance. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42 is turning final, runway 11, Esperance. And we've got a strong headwind, 19 knots, 20 knot headwind. So this leg will take longer, we'll need a bit more power. Ground speed of 68 knots. Windsock, runway's clear, flaps, landing, just a solid 15 to 20 knots. Centre X-ray 42's landed at Esperance, cancel sir.
X-ray 42, Esperance, watch terminated.
Esperance traffic 2376 340 IFR. We're taxiing from Bay 2. We're just going to turn around on the bay to commence checklist. We'll hold short for X-ray 42. Esperance.
And thanks, X-ray 42. I'm about to vacate via Alpha.
X-ray 376, copy.
Landing light off.
Are you going to do the fuel bars, or are you going to the right to the dirt area?
I will head over to the fuel bar. Actually, I'll head over to the right because I need to park for the night. X-ray 42.
X-ray 376, okay, we'll hold it. They'll probably get you to park on the dirt area, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, I know you got a new plane.
The props don't like it.
No, the AO might be able to come out. If you stop where you are, I'm not telling you what to do, but the AO might be able to come up and have a chat with you and arrange something. But there's a conquest in the position that will be available to you.
Yeah, great. I might just ask permission. Thanks.
No worries, mate. See you later.
All right, I'll turn this off. We're in Esperance. We made it. Fantastic. Although the weather's not great, but I'll sort out parking and anyway, get into town, get a hotel. See ya. Okay, day 2. Back at the plane, and this is our final leg. And today we're off to Perth Jandakot. Never been there before, to hand the aircraft over to its new owner. Come along for the last leg. Centre, good day, X-ray 42 is the Diamond DA40. IFR, taxis Esperance for Jandakot, 1 POB and runway 29.
X-ray 42, Centre, just confirm IFR.
AFM, IFR. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42, taxis for runway 29. Esperance.
X-ray 42, squawk 3635.
3635, X-ray 42, thanks. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42 is entering and backtracking runway 29, Esperance. Esperance traffic, X-ray 42 is rolling runway 29 departure to the northwest, Esperance. Trim set, let's go. We've got a tiny bit of a tailwind. Okay, speed's alive, T's and P's in the green, loads and RPMs are good. 50 cross-checked. 7. Rotate. Wanted to fly early. Alright, everything's in the green. Clear of obstacles now. 30 feet. Ducks away. Lights can come off, we're getting 750 feet a minute. Pumps can come off. Hold your hand on it for a second in case the engine fails and we'll just turn it back on again. Centre X-ray 42, departure report.
X-ray 42.
Departed Esperance time 18, passing 2000 for 10,000, tracking 289, Esman 10.
X-ray 42 identified there at QNH is 1026.
1026, X-ray 42. Okay, so outside temperature is 5 degrees. Could get looks like we're going to get some potential freezing level stuff, cloud along our route. So one solution might be to climb up to flight level 120. 4 flight's pretty spot on with where the cloud is here. Let's see how this goes. It looks pretty thin. We don't want to sit in it, but hopefully we can get up on top of it in a minute. All right, so I'm just doing a manual log of all the expected arrival times at all the waypoints based on the flight plan and using our departure time, which the aircraft nicely records for me in case you forget. And what we do is we also just log the fuel along the way, so we're comparing the performance in time and fuel against the flight plan which was done against book values. So we can, I guess the idea is that if there's any sort of discrepancy, if we're using more fuel to achieve the same performance, or if our time's starting to if we're not hitting the times, then something's not right. So it's a bit of a good way of identifying that maybe there's a problem that needs to be dealt with. And look at us sitting nicely on top of this layer, and we'll be below the layer above, which is identified on here at about, I don't know, 16,000 feet, something like that. Beautiful. One thing I don't miss having the 62 is having to keep your right foot on the rudder all the way through the climb. I do like the yaw damper. It's a nice feature.
Just 972, confirm estimate for Beverly.
Anyway, see you later.
Qantas 770, Global 410.
Qantas 770, Melbourne Centre.
972, Beverly 0.
Okay, what an amazing day here in Perth. We've got about half an hour left, maybe 40 minutes, about 20 minutes from top of descent. This is the last time I'll be flying X-Ray 42. It's been an amazing plane, the DA40NG, very nice plane, and it's going to be handed over today to its new owner, and its new owner is a doctor, and it's going to be used by an organisation called Fly to Health. So it's good to know it's going to go to a good use. It's going to be flying medical staff, I believe, from Perth Jandakot out to regional towns in Western Australia to do, I think they go out and they do like a day of work in various regional towns. You know, speech therapists, occupational therapists, various medical staff, helping people in regional towns who don't have these services, and then they fly back at the end of the day, back into town. So it's really great to know that it's going to go to a good use like that, and but it has been a really nice, trouble-free aircraft. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope it continues that way for the new owner. But you know, I've got the 62 now, so I'm very happy to be flying around in the 62. But it's a little bit sad to see it go. But anyway. And X-Ray 42, request further descent if available.
X-Ray 42, descend to 5,000.
Descend 5,000, X-Ray 42. Alright, so we're on descent into Perth, Jandakot. Amazing. I can see glimpses now of the Indian Ocean. We've made it all the way from the east coast to the west coast, about close to 2,000 nautical miles. 1,800, 1,900 nautical miles, something like that. We're 25 miles from the VFR reporting point. We're IFR, but they seem to be sending us in through the VFR reporting point, which I guess is pretty common in Bankstown as well, where they'll send you in through basically 2RN.
X-Ray 42, report visual.
We're visual, X-Ray 42.
X-Ray 42, clear to leave controlled airspace, descending, no reported traffic.
Clear to leave on descent, X-Ray 42. Clear to leave on descent, so let's take it all the way down now. We're visual down to 1,500 for Russell, reporting point. Pumps are on, lights are on, fuel transfers off, things are balanced enough. And we're ready for landing.
X-Ray 42, there is traffic, Cessna 172, 2 miles north of Canning Dam, also tracking for Russell, estimated Russell at the same time, and presently showing 3,500 unverified level.
Copy, looking for traffic, got him on my traffic page, thanks, X-Ray 42.
X-Ray 42. X-Ray 42, process terminated, connect center 135.25.
Center on 135.25, X-Ray 42. Center, g'day, X-Ray 42's on descent through 4,000.
X-Ray 42, Center, g'day, traffic Cessna 172 overhead, Canning Dam, turning inbound for Russell, 3,500.
Copy, looking, X-Ray 42. Same altitude. There it is. X-Ray 42 visual with the Cessna.
X-Ray 42.
They're going to beat me to Russell. According to that, which shows our vectors of where we're going to be in the next 2 minutes.
X-ray 42, contact Janet Tower 118.1, good day.
Over to Tower 1181, X-ray 42, good day. Janet got Tower, good day, X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40. Russell 1,700 on descent to 1,500, inbound with Charlie, visual.
X-ray 42, good day, maintain 1,500 visual, traffic about a mile ahead of you, unknown aircraft, 1,300 unverified, appears to be inbound, have not called.
Copy, visual with traffic, X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, maintain 1,500 visual.
Maintain 1,500 visual, X-ray 42. I've slowed us right down. Seem to be still gaining on them. We're a mile apart. Keep a good eye on them. Visual of the airfield. We're now 2.5 miles from Forestdale Lake. Is this the lake? This dried up lake? I think it is. X-ray 42, Forestdale Lake.
X-ray 42, maintain 1,500 visual and overfly.
Maintain 1,500 visual overfly, X-ray 42. There we go. Let's go to heading mode. Let's go to OBS. Still got to keep an eye on that plane. Let's put 06 in. We're overflying 1,500. Alright, got the runways in sight. Got 2 runways, 06 left, 06 right. If I don't get any instructions shortly, I've got to...
X-ray 42, clear visual approach, join downwind, runway 06 left, follow the Cessna mid downwind.
Clear visual approach, 06 left, follow the Cessna mid downwind, and still visual with the traffic to X-ray 42.
Clear to land, Delta Select.
I reckon they're going to be a bit, I'm going to be a bit closer then. Any airspace here that I've got to stay within the zone. Just trying to widen it a little bit. Get ready for go round.
Maintain 1,500, track upwind, runway 06 left.
What I might do is get the flap out early. Speed's good, just slows right down. Landing lights, pumps are on. Flaps final. Pretty close. All depends on how this guy goes, how quickly he pulls off the runway.
X-ray 42, please land.
Clear to land, X-ray 42.
Traffic, 12 o'clock, same altitude, less than 1 mile.
Delta Tower, Delta Tango Foxtrot with Charlie, maintaining 2,000.
Delta Tango Foxtrot, good day, descent to 1,500 visual and track direct Janicot.
1,500 visual, direct Janicot, Delta Tango Foxtrot.
Traffic, 12 o'clock.
Bravo, Quebec Oscar, standing by 06 left for full stop. Bravo, Quebec Oscar, number 1.
And Janicot ground, X-ray 42 is on Bravo 3, request taxi central apron.
X-ray 42, ground, good day, taxi central apron.
Taxi central apron, X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, ground.
X-ray 42.
Just had a phone call. If you turn left at Bravo 4, apparently there'll be some people waiting for you out there. You actually be able to see them.
Okay, I'll take the next left here at Bravo 4, thanks.
Cheers, good day.